Hi, Kyle. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. We're excited to have you back in town.
Oh, cool. Excited to come back on the road.
Yeah,
See some of the great southeast.
that's good. Well, we are excited to have you back up here in Louisville for the Vote Dammit. The Vote Dammit. There's a certain
Right.
inflection you have to hit on that. The Vote
Yeah,
Dammit.
yeah, that's right. Get in the spirit. Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I started doing Vote Dammit themed tours I think in 2000 and then again in 2004 and just trying to get voter participation or help inspire a conversation about if we don't participate then corruption and very undemocratic things ensue.
and it's more
Yeah,
than what you're talking about is more than just the presidential race, too, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, that, of course, is as crucial as ever right now. We can't complain that we have two shades of gray to choose from because we really do have a stark difference between our presidential candidates, but also we have so many congressional races that are as important. And we've all seen, I think, in the Obama years, that even the most well-meaning president is sort of powerless if you have a Congress that's stacked with extremists and roadblockists,
Right.
So in order for us to get anything done and move this country forward, I think we have to take all these races real seriously.
Yeah, I don't know if you've followed Kentucky politics at all, but we're having our own problem when, for the governor race, I think only 20% of folks showed up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and meanwhile, I think if we all just knuckled down and exercised our right to vote, which was the brilliant thing about the first rounds of Vote Dammit tours that we did years ago, which we haven't got revamped, so I shouldn't even talk about it. But there was a great slideshow in between the sets that talked about voter history. And you look for a minute at how hard fought the right to vote was for so many people. And then the idea of squandering it becomes that much more ludicrous. We're blessed to live in a democracy and, we should jump at the chance to empower ourselves and make our own choices and make the government really represent us. I was looking up the Kentucky races, in anticipation of talking to you, and I didn't really delve deeply into the candidates. But the first thing I noticed was in the Republican column how the funding of the campaigns was 5, 6 times as much as in the Democratic categories, So that right there is a red flag, It just shows us how much we have to counteract with our own energy the power of money and business.
Yeah, it seems a lot of the time, it comes down to apathy on a lot of people's parts, which, for what you're doing out there seems the perfect sort of inspiration because I would assume, like, the crowd that you're talking to is probably on your side of the dial.
Yeah.
So, maybe,
Yeah.
I wouldn't really call it preaching to the choir because it's not that because it seems like what you're trying to do is inspire those people to take those ideas, those like-minded ideas, and run with it.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Inspire the choir to sing louder, to sing their own, of themselves. I mean, I think that's really all I've been trying to say in all of these songs over the years is just you have the power to become yourself. You can not only make your own answers, you can make your own questions. Find your own questions, because often I feel like that's the problem with me and the world. My sort of feeling like a square peg in a round hole in this world is I think often we're asking the wrong questions. So the debates they never hit the mark, Anyway, I digress, but yeah, I think just inspiring each other is what's so important. If you make yourself stronger, then people will come to you.
Yeah. As a as someone who sang a lot of protest songs over the years, we're all frustrated. But I would start to wonder, like, you've kind of made this your job, and is it even more frustrating that here we are 25 years later, and you're still having to sing protest songs? I was listening to "Take Down Your Flag" just the other day, and I would that's a song that I hope you would never have to sing again.
Yeah, I know. I've been visiting a song from 1999, I think, called "To the Teeth," and playing it on stage, and it's basically a song about how far gone we seem to be with this culture of guns and this, again, strong business lobby that goes against an overwhelming opinion amongst citizens that we should have more regulation. And it just, I stand on stage every night and say, okay, I'm going to play a 16-year-old song when the gun violence seemed overwhelming then. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how we acclimate and deny and excuse. It does get kind of hard sometimes to keep trying to feel it all and be present in it all.
Yeah, I would I don't think it's too personal here, but I know you have kids, and as a protest singer, like, how do you talk to your kids about what, like, Orlando or any of these? Like, is there a conversation that you're having that you're putting out there for them?
I mean, my oldest is only 9, so she is not privy to the daily news. But we, things have started to come up. Like we I brought her to a protest and against police brutality in New Orleans, and Mommy, what does hands up, don't shoot mean? Right. And what is this about? And it's started an ongoing conversation about racism, and having kids, it puts it all right into the ludicrousy that it is. Right. Trying to explain something like racism to a child is like, it's the most ludicrous and sickening act as a parent.
I never thought of it. Like, I have a son, and he's the same age as your daughter, and I kind of go through, but I've never thought of it in that exact same way right there. Like, because it is, when you're explaining it, it's like, this is insane that this exists.
Yeah.
I'm having to say this.
Yeah. And then you're afraid that you're beginning the process that we were talking about, with guns, of acclimation to insanity, accepting. I mean, that's one thing that I try to hold on to in my life and in my work is that initial outrage I felt as a young person about things like war. I just seemed inexcusably insane. And, I want to hold on to that feeling. I have a song somewhere along the way about, I will maintain the truth I knew naturally as a child, and you want that for your kids too. So it's hard to explain the actual world.
Right. And now looking back on your last record with Allergic to Water, you as you talk about, holding on, trying to regain these feelings and everything, but in a totally different sense, like you are in a different part of your life than you were then. Allergic to Water isn't, the standard protest album. It's sort of a love album. It's got very sensual moments on it, even sexy moments on it. All of this musically. When you're Ani DiFranco and you're a protest singer, but it seems like you're in a period of your life where maybe you want to be something else.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just am something else. Like you have noticed, I had a baby, that's 3 now, but over the course of making that record, I was pregnant, and then I had a newborn, and that's certainly a time when you go inward, as a family, there's a lot of songs that come from inside that bubble. And over the years, my life takes different shape like anybody's life. Sure. And sometimes I'm looking outward and I'm addressing my society, and sometimes I'm going inward. And it used to be, that people would jump on me immediately for changing 1 degree left or right, but I at least I hope that as time goes on, that people, understand for me as well as for themselves as we get older, that things ebb and flow, that the things that you're paying attention to shift, and where you're putting your energy shifts, and that's as it should be,
Right. Does it ever feel like, though, that maybe that you're dragging your history with you at times when you don't want to?
Oh, it does sometimes, but it's pretty easy for me to come back to a place of gratitude,
Yeah.
I look around and I think, wow, I have a cool job. It has its downsides, but if you ever hear me complaining, smack me.
Well, it has been just 2 years since Allergic to Water, but I think I read that your new album is sort of done.
Yeah, it's sort of done, exactly. Who knows now that I'm on kid time how long the last 5% takes, but I'm hoping to have it done in the fall and maybe out in the new year. I thought it would be out in this year, but that's looking a little squeezy. But yeah, it's there. The songs are there, and there's a lot of, I guess, whatever. It's my grab bag of big P politics. There's a lot of things that I have a strong desire to engage society about. Maybe, now my kid is out of diapers, so I'm back in the ring.
Well, what about the sounds? Because you're always kind of playing with sounds, which are catching your songwritings these days.
Well, this new record has a lot of great players on it. That's the really standout thing that's going to be happening here. Is my band is so amazing these days with Todd and Terrence, who will be with me in Louisville. And then Ivan Neville plays on half the record, and Jenny Scheinman, this beautiful violinist, and others. I sort of made a few phone calls this time around and reached out to, I realized I have all these incredibly talented friends, I should call them. And so there's a lot of little guest appearances on this new record too, which are pretty cool. Many spirits flying through.
Well, I can't wait for the new record, and more importantly, I'm so excited to see you this coming Monday here in Louisville. So, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right.
All right, Kyle. Take care.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.